Now, the remaining period we will devote for the discussions. The authors are all available here. You can raise your points, and particularly to particular author, so that the corresponding author will reply to you.
Hello. Problems being faced by OGC, and I think these are representative problems for upstream industries. So, only thing I will just summing up and concluding, I will again and request the ministry to take up. If required, they can arrange a separate session on this to justify or to give our clarification. Because you see, we are fully committed to environment protection, and being a part of a society where we are operating as part of society, we really concerned about the safety of the people. But at the same time, we also don't want that there should be unnecessary expenditure, because it aids the cost of the oil, and ultimately it goes to the public again. And companies, you see, expenditure goes more than their profit is going down. So, if this so this clearing mistake is the issue, where is a blanket that we have to have a clearing mistake for a specific quantity of gas of 30 meter height.
Yeah, there are so many points like conducting.
Let me because we even during production testing, we complete the well, we do the production testing, then we fill some amount of gas if gas is there. We have to test the reservoir, how much quantity is there. So raising this rectangle 30 meter height is not possible. It's not safe also to raise 30 meter pipe. It may cause somebody incident and somebody may hurt it. This similarly for the production installations, EPS, early production system.
Yeah.
There we only put a small amount of oil, 7 ton, 6 ton per day, and it is not economical to raise this type. So may kindly take note of this. And next,
sir, there is no point in repeating the things, but point is this, that if there is any question, we will welcome that. No.
The question I don't have, but we got this.
These are all points were very important.
Then one more problem, you see regarding this gel cutting. Just I am clarifying more. I am giving the explanation, so people should be easy for them to consider the issue. Because gel cutting and drilling fluid, they are two hazardous categories. This material. But now we have got tested that they both are non-toxic, and we request that they should be deleted from hazard category, and they should not be insisted upon to line the position lining. And some of the places, in some of the places now, Pollution Control Board, they are insisting that you transfer this bill cutting to PSDF. This is not possible; it's very expensive. So we request them that such a thing is kindly looked into, and other things okay. I mean,
Thank you. I am sorry, but we can't. Okay, thank you. Yeah, Doctor.
My name is Vishen Gupta. I want to have a questions with Dr. Sharma. ONGC is now doing bioremediation of the oil dispatch. Okay. And you know that bioremediation, only the oil part will go, whatever you pay. And the metals will remain in the soil. Okay. So, if you're doing only bioremediation, you are not treating fully the hazardous component of the waste. So, how you can say that doing the bioremediation, you are fully doing the justice, and this remaining thing is non-hazardous and it should not be further treated because metals are present.
Yes.
That will.
Then you are not doing the complete thing.
No. We raised this point with the TRI, and at that point of time, TRI has analyzed certain amount of our oil present in the soil, contaminated soil.
Yeah.
So they have come out with the explanation that your metal quantity in the initial sludge was very less. That was their answer. But I also feel, technically, academically, the bacteria cannot degrade the toxic metals so heavily. So, I believe that TRI is pressing hard CPCB for notification of their guidelines for bioremediation, which are not existing till date. So, I do not support that bioremediation can degrade the toxic metals.
No, but at the same time, I think we will not enter into the discussions at this point.
No, but here I can just supplement because they have, once they have analyzed and they have shown that concentration of the toxic metals in the soil bioremediated, it's below the permissible limit. So that is maybe a reason this need not be treated further.
Yeah, even the format of the in which it is existing in the metal, that may or may not be toxic. I think is a point of further study. So that I think.
Actually, the concentration of toxic heavy metals may not be below the limit itself because it is locked up. If it is a chelate compound, if it is not soluble, immediately it would not be harmful. So in soil, if it is locked up, and that potentiality of that total toxicity,
Available.
if it is available, is harmful, then only it is.
Yes.
Otherwise, it is not. Because bioremediation or phytoremediation, whatever you can say it, we cannot altogether eliminate the heavy metals because it's a part of nature. It's a part of nature. But when it is soluble, when it is exchangeable, then only it becomes viable and for toxic. So that when it is locked up, when it is in the rigid content, then there is no possibility of harmful either to the organisms or
Okay,
to
fine.
the individuals or to human being. So we take it as a safe measure.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Chelate form is not toxic.
That's all.
Yeah, please.
Again,
Mr. Jindal.
Jindal.
focusing on the environmental factors, pH and other.
We have to do the TCLP test. If it is passed, then it's okay.
Yeah.
That's right.
So there is a very small thing. There is a small answer. TCLP
We can collect the samples from the site after bioremediation and do the further analysis.
But I
Yeah.
understand the TCLP test has failed.
Yeah.
Yes, failed.
Yes, only
No.
Okay, fine.
I am talking from environment point of view that there should be a guideline. There should be a guideline on that how much amount of that their product to be used with the oil contaminated soil. What we do, they usually to bring down the level of concentration, they mix the soil. If soil is more with the oil contaminated sludge, then everything comes down.
You cannot dilute the waste.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is also condition.
I think I
Good
can hear it.
afternoon. I congratulate the association. This association for rain pollution, taking the issue of the water pollution and hazardous waste. One. Second thing, the invitation is not proper. In the ministry, there are 3 divisions dealing with this issue: IE division, CP division, and hazardous waste management division. Other 2 divisions are not represented. In CPCB, the people who are dealing, they are also not represented. Another thing, Dr. Sharma is raising here an issue, and many times we have shared tea in the ministry, but we never shared these reservations. And unfortunately, 2 officers who have met Professor Dr. Minocha, 2005 onwards, till July 2007, and August 2007 onwards, I am dealing, but I have never received their representation about this notification number 546 of 30th August 2005. I don't know where they are representing and what they are getting and how it is being dealt with. Thank you.
I think Mr. Jindal, it is never too late to ask
But sir,
that.
unless you cannot deprive a system unless you make a proper representation at proper place. You see, you are knocking at the wrong door always and then say the system is not working. That is not good.
No, he's not never said that the system is not working.
They say that this is thing that is in that representation. See, when you are feeling your shoe is pinching, you have to apply oil or you have to use something so that shoe should not pinch. After 5 years down the drain, now we are in the August 2010 and we did not receive any representation about this notification 546 of 30th August 2005 about oil drilling and other things.
I think Mr. Jindal, I think we will not discuss further on this issue. Now point is, this is a dynamic system and if the limitations are pointed out, that can be taken up seriously at a bilateral stage. So that can be discussed. I think we will not discuss further on this point.
Close it.
Yeah, please.
Thank you. I am Dr. Chari from CPCB. I have two submissions here for the information of the dais that perhaps as Dr. Rastov is shown the standards for the effluents. I don't think there are standards for the VOC, and we have monitored the VOC in TTP are quite high, or I can say the highest in the plant. Second thing, we monitored in Panipat refinery, which is one of the very good. No, I am just giving him the information for revision of the standards. Second thing, the standard for the truck loading, top loading, we observed very high VOC emissions, say in the range of 1000 milligram per meter cube. So I am of the opinion that those standards should be revised. One thing. Second thing, I heard about the remediation of the sludge or contaminated, that guidelines being developed by the team, and toxicity testing is that animal or the fish referred is not compatible. So these two cases, you can refer to the VIS committee CSD 32, Dr. Bishnu Gupta is chairman of that, and if nobody is taking up, that committee will take up that. That comes under the...
Tyagi, CPCB doesn't need association to pass on certain information and queries to MOEF. I think both are same for us.
Both are same, yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
close it.
I think we should come to the close, only the last question or something like that.
Yeah, I am Professor Pramila Goel from IIM Delhi. I have one question actually. This question is basically from Mr. Hajarika. He is not here at the moment. Dr. Sharma has to tell me. There are two kinds of air quality monitoring you are suggesting for the case of oil refineries. One is offshore and one is onshore. So which one you feel accurate and why?
Air quality monitoring in our two plants are being done by the real-time analyzers, Uran and Hazira. They are major facilities. And other places we engage the agency, they carry out.
No, but the question is not clear.
Which is the better place, offshore or onshore?
Onshore.
Onshore.
Why?
Onshore because you get a lot of diversity in that. You will find a lot of comparisons. You will find a lot of fluctuation. And there you don't find there is all clean air.
And one more factor which I feel is because oil drilling is definitely offshore. Okay, so how the oil will transport to the onshore. So that will also create a
No, that is a closed circuit. Completely closed circuit.
Yeah.
So that will not contribute any more additional.
Yes, nothing.
Okay, thank you.
Subsea pipeline basically.
Okay, close it.
I think all the good things also comes to the end. Mr. Chairman, please.
Close it, doesn't matter.
So, lunch is.
Now the session has come to a close. I thank all the speakers as well as the audience for taking an active part in the discussions. Thank you all.
When I was talking about the CO2 emission factor and in the presentation, Karan Sabha was talking about the emission inventory from the oil and refinery sector. Generally, what happens when we calculate the CO2 emissions, which is generally so important for each and every industry, seeing the climate change, we generally take the emission factors developed by the US EPA or in Western countries. Why don't we develop our specific CO2 emission factors for this sector?
No, see, the question is you do not have a same fuel. I have just gave a representative. If this is a fuel gas is containing some hydrogen also, it is methane, it is a ethane, it is a plus ethane also, it may be there. So emission factor for CO2, I mean CO2 will be varying and all that. You can't standardize and all that. Now, first thing is I compliment the Gobind Singh refinery is concentrating more on CO2. Normally refineries are not having inventory of CO2, This is a different matter because we are using now more of gas, many refineries who have got. So automatically CO2 emissions have come down. As compared to the fuel oil, definitely is far more, So usage of gas will bring down the CO2. Now CO2 is predominantly has gone up in the refinery because from the hydro treating, you know, hydrogen is needed more. You know, refineries are having, some refineries may be having 3 or 4 hydrogen units, because now you want a fuel, you want a petrol with the very low, it should be, the benzene should be nil, and all other parameters which are different, you know, Euro 4 norms and all that. So they need more extensive hydro treating for the diesel and all that, 50 ppm sulfur, you know, is something you need hydrogen. And once you produce hydrogen from any source, either from gas, it could be less the CO2, but if you produce with naphtha, then all the carbon is rejected. You are recovering only the hydrogen part. So the CO2 inventory, I appreciate if Govind Singh is doing it, they should see that how they can reduce further and all that. So it cannot be a common factor and all that.
I am from Indian Oil.
Let him
I am heading Safety Environment Banner of Panagadil. My name is D.K. Karwan. I want to ask 2 questions from Mr. Tandon. Number 1 is that regarding SPM and PM. First of all, there is a difficulty in the measurement of 2.5. This is one problem. Second problem is State Pollution Control Board. You know, Panipat refinery is Panipat is industry area where there is a big powerhouse of state government of 1380 megawatt. Then we have this national fertilizer, and all the ground level concentration of TPS that comes in the neighborhood of the refinery only. So SPM level is always very, very high. I don't want to quote, but it's very high. It's more than 400. Now, if we compare whether Panipat refinery is contributing in increase of SPM, then my suggestion to Pollution Control Board was that you install 4 SPM analyzer across the refinery, and then the differentiate the delta increase, then you should calculate. It's so saying that the SPM level Panipat is high and the refinery is controlled. This was one thing. The second was whether are we measuring opacity in any other refinery? Because measuring opacity is very difficult in FCC. And I think I don't have any information about any refinery that is doing now. Instead of that, we can have a filtered green fuel in the furnaces.
I'll respond to your first question. Second, Kanan can say who are measuring the opacity and all that. See, you are living in an old scenario. Now, once you have to meet, improved environment limits and all that, environment control, Now, you are having a FCC which, you do not have a tertiary cyclones and all that. You have to go for tertiary cyclones. Now, inside whatever is FCC, you have got a primary and secondary cyclones and all that. How good is the efficiency? It is, what kind of design is there? Today, a lot of design changes are there in the primary and secondary in the regenerator itself, which you may not be aware. Now, secondary, tertiary cyclones is a must. I must emphasize, you have to go for it and to reduce. First, demonstrate with technology that this is the limit I can achieve. Then environment authorities also will see if they have gone for some additional technology and you are not able to limit, then the revision of the limit can be considered, Please listen, Mr. Karwar, you are new to the environment control. Now, this is MAB you are using. You go to your Gujarat refinery, they have the best MAB. They are capturing all this, your air is having SPM. These all suspended particles. You can't use the atmospheric air for the MAB which you have been using earlier. Gujarat refinery has gone for a well-designed MAB which is having the pack of the filters. You can replace those filter media and all that. So you can't say that within the existing facilities you cannot meet these standards. You cannot. But you have to put the plan in place that how I am going to meet it.
Sir, SPM is not a problem in Parliament.
Opacity comes from the SPM only. Opacity comes from the SPM only. You can see the plume, you know. If your SPM is high, only then opacity will be there.
My question was,
anyway,
how to meet the requirement to give the SPM as opacity data? This is one thing. Second thing was, I was referring to national ambient air standards. No, not about only FCC.
National ambient standard is still more critical.
Yeah, it's very difficult, no, because even if you close our SPM, even if you close our FCC, and as per the new study, before shutting off refinery, the SPM level was more than 500. So after coming up the refinery, it has come down actually.
Ambient air control is a separate thing, you know. But first you have to see your refinery, whatever the emissions are there, whether they are within the limits or not. Anyway, the opacity measurement, I also not, Canon, they are doing.
So it should be do away with, that's what I got.
Opacity, yes.
You can have another precaution like filtration of oil, all this chemical gas.
Opacity meters are there.
In situ meter, which you have to install in the stand. You cannot do it from outside, it cannot be done. That is, there will be a receiver and there will be a emitter. No, we have got, refinery.
Only in FCC?
FCC only.
Oh.
Because they're only, even in other countries, they go for only one FCC only. And another thing you were asking about CO2. This thing. See, the best thing is whatever fuel you burn, you find out the carbon, how much carbon is the percentage.
You can.
That gives you directly why you go for any factor.
Can depend on the oxidation of the carbon. During burning process, combustion process, how much is oxidized?
How much you think will be oxidized? 99.99?
If you are.
Depends on the combustion process.
So, if you are not combusting, then your PM will be there. If you 1%, if you say it is 99% only you are combusting, remaining is going as carbon. You know what will be the PM? You cannot see. You will see a dark plume only there. So 99.99 is burned. So you can safely assume if all the carbon has been converted into carbon dioxide. And this is a method given by the World, forget the name of the organization, who do the Cerium and CSR. They say the best thing is find out the carbon in the fuel. Only if you are not able to do, then you go for using a factor. Factor gives you very approximate value. You are saying gas composition can vary. Fuel oil composition can vary. But if you are measuring, they give the frequency also. Either you do it once a week or this thing. Then you mention it in your report. We are giving our CSR report, which is published. We give greenhouse gas emissions for the total reliance, in which CO2 is also a major part. It is calculated in each and every site. At Jamnagar, we do it by carbon content in the fuel.
Yeah.
This is regarding this solid waste, that is this tank bottom sludge, which is generated in the case of refinery, as well as for ENP industry also, because we having storage tank, I store the oil before supplying to refinery. A lot of sludge generated. So you are rightly pointed out that it contains a lot of oil. This is not waste oil, putting it to bioremediation. So what we can, because as per present this regulatory provision, we can only sell to the sludge approved recyclers, approved vendors, or alternatively it can be put under TSDF. So what I say in this case, can be, because certain cement factories, they are also in need of this type of this fuel which they can use for that purpose. But it is possible under the regulatory provision, can we supply this sludge to them, so it can be used for the good cause of this thing, and it is not wasted, and we can utilize the sludge unnecessarily. Because the good recycler, he also sends somewhere, but who does seller is in the trouble because he has to get the certification, there are so many problems are there. So I would like to have your views whether directly we can sell to some factory or some we can use the
Yeah,
See,
in fact, okay.
let me respond to you. See, the question is the transportation of the sludge. The oily sludge, if the oil content is more, it can lead to a very unpleasant situation. People, can take out the sludge, they can go for so-called wax making and all that, So I think this State Pollution Control Board normally understand how the end user and all that, it is there, well designed, how they are going to utilize the sludge and all that, they may not permit. Secondly, to my knowledge, because if you want to make money out of the oil, what is contained in the tank bottoms, even after spending money for the recovery and all that, it is possible we should have an in situ tank cleaning and all that. So you can, empty out the tank and the agency can come and they can recover all the oil with you. So the only thing is that oil will have little more BSNW. Now you cannot push all the oil at a time to your fresh oil. You have to bleed it, within 2%, 3% like that, So there is a worldwide practice to recover as much oil from the tank bottom. Tank bottom are best sludge for the recovery of oil.
That's okay. We can recover up to only 5%, I think.
5% balance which is there, residual oil, instead of spending money on bioremediation and all that, this can be used. I was talking to CRRA gentlemen.
That's right.
So let me clarify. There is a policy issued by Central Pollution Control Board and Ministry of Environment that any high calorific value hazardous waste can go to cement field.
Yes.
And it is available in CPCB website, MOE website, everything.
But one thing is there, Dr. Sengupta. Now, for economics point of view, we have been, in touch for Petcoke also on the cement. They don't want to offer, they want to give us free and all that. This is not if they talk on a regular basis, what is the kind of money they will get and all that what I am suggesting, if you recover oil in situ and all that, you will be gaining much more than disposing of the sludge to any agency. Transportation cost, the hazard cost, in between there can be pilferage also and all that, and then they can put it anywhere and other use. We have seen in this country, the sludge being put into the lube oil also, So, that kind of, there should be practice. What I am telling from the international based practices. They call the agency, and here also refineries have done it. They have called Singapore Clean Sea and all that. There are other companies who can do and all that. Baman Lorry also is doing, you are having a smaller tank, it may be good to, have agency for recovery of oil within the.
That's okay. Nobody wants to put the oil. We have to.
See, Dr. Saab, that transportation of sludge is a.
No, he is telling after recovery.
Cement plant.
Yes.
And why they will allow that there it should be done? Because they are recovering the money from that. They are using the calorific value of the waste as partial fuel. They will get their coal consumption will be less. Number two, they will get the carbon credit. So these two benefits are there, and many cement plants are doing. Now we have the case study, at least 17, 18 cement plants are using various type of hazardous waste, high calorific of course. So
what cost they will give, I don't know.
The sludge can also be utilized for this purpose.
Yeah, you can try, you can
The
try.
oil up to 5%, and they only buried after the 5%. This is also oil.
Okay, I would like to comment on one
After
thing.
the residual sludge also can go to the cement.
Yeah.
Because the balance part is a part of the cement only,
Yes.
So residual sludge can go after recovery of oil.
Yes,
Yeah.
possible. That is the point.
I think the point that has been made is that first of all, whatever you can, I'm sure anybody would like to extract whatever he can, first of all,
Correct.
for his own economic reasons. Now, whatever is left, whether it's 5% or 10 or 15, whatever is there, if cement plants can accept it, I think that will be should be the first option. And so far as the ministry is concerned, and it applies not only to this oily sludge, all organic sludges which have got calorific value, the first option should be to send it
to a cement plant. I think this in general. And so far as all other wastes are concerned, including the catalyst which he talked about, the first option is to recycle, to recover whatever values you have got. And precious metal, if it contains platinum, I don't think anybody would like to send it to the landfill anywhere. And even today's cost of nickel and molybdenum
is very high.
are also such that nobody would like to throw the waste in the landfill. They will like to recover. And
nickel containing spent at the rate of 1 lakh rupees a ton.
right.
Cobalt based at least more than 1 lakh rupees a ton.
Exactly. So, and now there are...
They recover, no?
Yes.
They recover the metals.
And fortunately, today there are so many recyclers, small fellows, who are prepared to take this material, buy this material from you and recover. My suggestion was that there are two things. One is a detailed proceedings or deliberations of this interactive session. That is one part. But the recommendations which based on all those deliberations which you send should be very crisp and very pointed. Like one point was made that online monitoring and its transmission to CPCB or MEF.
That should be encouraged.
That is one point which should be, that there should be recommendation that should be enforced. Second was that, which is I think already there, that all factories at the gate should display their environmental status. If it is not there, then I think it has to be done. So like that. Then some of the difficulties from the side of the refiners. One of them was that the measurement. You see, there are standards, let us say for SO2, NOx, etc., how to measure them. But somebody pointed out there is no method, standard method given for benzene, for example, or for VOC. So I think there is a need for, I'm giving examples. This is not, what I'm saying is not exhaustive. But I think these are the type of things which you should enumerate and put one by one. The point that was made that oil remediation, it should not be rushed through. Oil remediation you can take care of by this bacteria of the oil content. But what about the heavy metal content? Maybe it has to be followed by another phytoremediation. That means on that soil, where you have got this oil which has been now eaten up by the bacteria, but still there is some hazardous constituent. First of all, you have to establish that there is a hazardous constituent by TCLP test. And then, if it is there, then you do phytoremediation. That is, plant some trees or some plants which will pick up this heavy metal. There are technologies. I know of one case which is being done for the Hindustan Copper tailings containing copper. So the phytoremediation is being done so that the copper which is present in the tailings is picked up by the, either it is bound by the roots or picked up by the trees, by the plant species. So like that. And then there was bioremediation. Then similarly about the drill cutting, I think he made a very specific, he raised this issue. Why they should be considered as, supposing you have removed the oil, if there is oil, then why should it be considered as a hazardous material? Why should it go to the landfill? And same way for the mud. You have already put conditions that everything should be non-toxic. You have put a limit of 30,000 milligrams. Now, if you have already said that it should be non-toxic, if it is not toxic, then why should it be considered as a hazardous waste and should be put in the landfill, which is expensive? So like that, they made some, I think so these specific suggestions which were made from the industry side or from the side of the those who are interested in environment protection, they should be very clearly put, then only it will have meaning. Otherwise, if you put in sort of vague words and also as proceedings, perhaps it will not have the impact which is desired to have. So, I think... I'm only given a discussion. Yeah, I think that will be good. You please. Right. Oh, that is important. Yes, yes. Okay, okay, yes, yes.
Yeah, that is the point. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think what, in addition to what Dr. Tyagi has mentioned, I have jotted down some points. And this, maybe it is repetition or something, but one is the important thing was deliberated in the morning session was that environmental clearance requirement should be extended to beyond 12 nautical miles, considering the risk associated of oil exploration and oil spill, etc. So this is very important recommendation made by Mr. Mosker in the morning session. I think this should be one recommendation. Then concept of corporate environmental responsibility to be extended to all large industry. This is another important suggestion given by Mr. Mosker. The concept of corporate, so far we have the CSR or we have the CREP, but we do not have the corporate environmental responsibility. That is new things which he has introduced. Then third one, the oil industry sector should target to achieve the global standard, that is more stringent standard in a time-bound manner. That is for large industry, what was the emphasis by Mr. Mosker was that industry should go beyond the standard and they target the very stringent standard. Then fourth one is the post-project monitoring. He has emphasized a lot on post-project monitoring to be strengthened further so that the source and ambient air quality standards are met. So post-project monitoring is another important one which he has highlighted. Then in the ONGC presentation, one of the very important thing has come, which I fully agree with Chairman, is that drill cutting may be used for road construction work, which is non-hazardous. I think this is a very important one and we should pursue this one, that drill cutting may be used as a road construction. Then guidelines for decommissioning of and restoration plan for oil drilling industry may be prepared by authorities. Maybe CPCB or maybe MOEF should prepare this decommission plan. That is very important. I think this should go as a recommendation. Then another one is the monitoring of toxicity test of effluent for offshore facility. Offshore drilling activity using indigenous species may be developed. So far we have the species which is not available at all. That fish is not available here itself. So that is a recommendation made by Dr. Sharma of ONGC. I think this is a very important point to be included. Then the dried sludge of the wastewater treatment plant and solid waste should not be sent to TSDF because it's non-hazardous. And if some clarification required, then Ministry of Environment, they have a special committee for that may be sent and their opinion may be taken. And this if it's non-hazardous, it should not be sent to the TSDF. That is very important recommendation. I think it will save a lot of money for the industry because it is non-hazardous thing. Why it should go to the TSDF? Then bioremediation of oily sludge should be considered very carefully because as Chairman is also mentioning that all the metals are not removed by that. And also the chances of more CO2 generation if you do the bioremediation of the oily sludge. So we should be careful about that and some secondary measures also should be taken. Then spent catalyst may go to the cement plant as binding material. That is another recommendation made. Then sampling and analysis of the pollutant mentioned in the new ambient air quality standard. I think some methodology should be developed very quickly by the Central Pollution Control Board or the Ministry of Environment so that the pollutant like benzene or polyaromatic hydrocarbons or PM 2.5 etc. should come up very fast. FCC, yeah. Spent catalyst generated from FCC. Yeah. Then opacity standard of FCC unit maybe for the refinery may be revisited. This is another point mentioned by the RIL. I think this is a very important one. That opacity standard we should revisit. These are some points which I have noted and this may be incorporated in the recommendation.
Yeah.
First you please give your name and then whom you want to address.
I have a question for Dr. Soman. You touched upon the recording and many aspects of state but two things I would like to add on to that is one is the disposal of drilling birds. Just like drill cuttings, we are trying with CRRI, the Central Road Research Institute. We have in fact initiated to convert these drilling birds into some type of fertilizers because basically the chemical properties are fertilizers it can be converted into fertilizers. So we have started one with JNFC. That is my one submission where I would request the ministry to, if they can identify some agencies.
Please restrict to your question, please.
Yeah, this is not basically this is one submission to ministry that these drilling muds can be really converted to some fertilizers at the site itself instead of taking it out and disposing in a landfill or something. And then second is regarding the expired chemicals or the unused chemicals are particularly in the offshore as well as in the onshore, where a lot of difficulties is faced by many oil drilling companies because no suppliers wish to take it back to outside India because of so many other constraints. And many times we face that difficulties that how to dispose of that because we don't have a license.
Sir, I think we will keep the suggestions. Please give in writing. We will be very happy to pass on to the ministry. I think we'll keep the time because the time is very precious here at this point of time. So we'll restrict it to the questions and queries, please.
Again, these are my 2 points which I would like to.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Yeah, please.
Narayan Lal, General Manager from NGC. My colleague Dr. J. Sharma has already given a detailed presentation on the issues. Hello. Problems being faced by NGC, and I think these are representative problems for our industries. So, only thing I will just summing up and concluding, I will again this thing and request the ministry to take up. If required, they can arrange a separate session on this to justify or to give a clarification. Because you see, we are fully committed to environment protection and being a part of a society where we are operating as part of society, we equally concerned about the safety of the people. But at the same time, we also don't want that there should be unnecessary expenditure because it aids the cost of the oil and ultimately it goes to the public again. And companies, you see, expenditure goes more than their profit is going down. So, if this go only, this clearing mistake is the issue, where it is a blank sheet that we have to have a clearing mistake for irrespective of quantity of gas of 30 meter height.
Yeah, there are so many points like conducting.
Because we even during production testing, we complete the well, we do the production testing, then we fill some amount of gas if gas is there. We have to test the reservoir, how much quantity is there. So raising this rectangle 30 meter height is not possible. It's not safe also to raise 30 meter pipe. It may cause somebody incident and somebody may hurt it. This similarly for the production installations, EPS, early production system.
Yeah.
There we only put a small amount of oil, 7 ton, 6 ton per day, and it is not economical to raise this type. So may kindly take note of this. And next,
sir, there is no point in repeating the things, but point is this, that if there is any question, we will welcome that. No.
The question I don't have, but we got this.
Yeah, these are all points were very important.
Then one more problem, you see regarding this gel cutting, just I am clarifying more, I am giving the explanation, so people should be, it is easy for them to consider the issue. Because gel cutting and drilling fluid, there are two hazardous categories this material. But now we have got tested that they both are non-toxic, and we request that they should be deleted from hazardous category, and we should not be insisted upon to line the pollution lining. And some of the places, in some of the places now, pollution control board, they are insisting that to transfer this gel cutting to PSDF. This is not possible; it's very expensive. So we request them that such a thing they kindly look into, and other things okay. I mean,
Thank you. I am sorry, but we can't. Okay, thank you. Yeah, Dr.
My name is Bishan Gupta. I want to have a questions with Dr. Sharma. ONGC is now doing bioremediation on the oil dispatch. Okay. And you know that bioremediation, only the oil part will go, whatever you pay. And the metals will remain in the soil. Okay. So if you're doing only bioremediation, you are not treating fully the hazardous component of the waste. So how you can say that doing the bioremediation you are fully doing the justice, and this remaining thing is non-hazardous and it should not be further treated because metals are present.
Yes.
That will.
Then you are not doing the complete thing.
No. We raised this point with the TRI, and at that point of time, TRI has analyzed certain amount of our oil present in the soil, contaminated soil.
Yeah.
So they have come out with the explanation that your metal quantity in the initial sludge was very less. That was their answer. But I also feel, technically, academically, the bacteria cannot degrade the toxic metals so heavily. So, I believe that TRI is pressing hard CPCB for notification of their guidelines for bioremediation, which are not existing till date. So, I do not support that bioremediation can degrade the toxic metals.
No, but at the same time, I think we will not enter into the discussions at this point.
No, but here I can just supplement because once they have analyzed and they have shown that concentration of the toxic metals in the soil bioremediated, it's below the permissible limit. So that is maybe a reason this need not be treated for the.
Yeah, even the format of the in which it is existing in the metal, that may or may not be toxic. I think is a point of further study. So that I think.
Actually, the concentration of toxic heavy metals may not be below the limit itself because it is locked up. If it is a chelate compound, if it is not soluble, immediately it would not be harmful. So in soil, if it is locked up, and that potentiality of that total toxicity,
available,
if it is available, is harmful, then only.
Yes.
Otherwise, it is not. Because bioremediation or phytoremediation, whatever you can say it, we cannot altogether eliminate the heavy metals because it's a part of nature. It's a part of nature. But when it is soluble, when it is exchangeable, then only it becomes viable and for toxic. So that when it is locked up, when it is in the rigid content, then there is no possibility of harmful either to the organisms or to the plant materials or to human being. So we take it as a safe measure.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
In chelate form, it is not toxic.
Yeah.
That's all. Yeah, please.
Mr.
Gender.
On the environmental factors, pH and other.
We have to do the PCLP test. If it is passed, then it's okay.
Yeah.
So there is a very small thing, small answer.
We can collect the samples from the site after bioremediation and do the further analysis.
But
Yeah.
I understand the PCLP test has failed.
Yeah.
Yes, failed.
Yes, only
Okay, fine.
I am talking from environment point of view that there should be a guideline. There should be a guideline on that how much amount of that their product to be used with the oil contaminated soil. What we do, they usually to bring down the level of concentration, they mix the soil. If soil is more with the oil contaminated sludge, then everything comes down.
You cannot dilute the waste.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is also condition.
I think I can hear it.
I congratulate the association. This association for rain pollution, taking up the issue of the water pollution and hazardous waste. One. Second thing, the invitation is not proper. In the ministry, there are 3 divisions dealing with this issue: REA division, CP division, and hazardous waste management division. Other 2 divisions are not represented. In CPCB, the people who are dealing, they are also not represented. Another thing, Dr. Sharma is raising here issue, and many times we have shared tea in the ministry, but we never shared these reservations. And unfortunately, 2 officers who affected Professor Dr. Minocha, 2005 onwards, till July 2007, And August 2007 onwards, I'm dealing, but I have never received their representation about this notification number 546 of 30th August 2005. I don't know where they are representing and what they are getting and how it is being dealt with. Thank you.
I think Mr. Jindal, it is never too late to ask that.
Unless otherwise, you cannot deprive a system unless you make a proper representation at proper place. You see, you are knocking at the wrong door always and then say the system is not working. That is not good.
No, he's not, never said that the system is not working.
They say that this is thing that is in that representation. See, when you are feeling your shoe is pinching, you have to apply oil or you have to use something so that shoe should not pinch. After 5 years down the drain, now we are in the August 2010 and we did not receive any representation about this notification 546 of 30th August 2005 about oil drilling and other things.
I think Mr. Jindal, I think we will not discuss further on this issue. Now point is, this is a dynamic system and if the limitations are pointed out, that can be taken up seriously at a bilateral stage. So that can be discussed. I think we will not discuss further on this point.
Close it.
Yeah, please.
Thank you. I am Dr. Tyagi from CPCB. I have two submissions here for the information of the dais that perhaps as Dr. Rastov is shown the standards for the effluents. I don't think there are standards for the VOC, and we have monitored the VOC in TTP are quite high, or I can say the highest in the plant. Second thing, we monitored in Panipat refinery, which is one of the very good. No, I am just giving him the information for the revision of the standards. Second thing, the standards for the truck loading, top loading, we observed very high VOC emissions, say in the range of 1000 milligram per meter cube. So I am of the opinion that those standards should be revised. One thing. Second thing, I heard about the remediation of the sludge or contaminated, that guidelines being developed by the team. And toxicity testing is that animal or the fish referred is not compatible. So these two cases, you can refer to the BIS committee CSD 32, Dr. Bishnu Gupta is chairman of that, and if nobody is taking up, that committee will take up that. That comes under the...
Tyagi is there, CPCB doesn't need association to pass on certain information and queries to MOEF. I think both are same for us.
Okay,
yeah.
Close it.
I think we should come to the close, only the last question or something like that.
Yeah, I am Professor Pramila Goel from Delhi. I have one question actually. This question is basically from Mr. Hajarika. Please not here at the moment. Dr. Sharma has to tell me. There are two kinds of air quality monitoring you are suggesting for the case of oil refineries. One is offshore and one is onshore. So which one you feel accurate and why?
Air quality monitoring, in our two plants are being done by the real-time analyzers, Uran and Hazira. They are major facilities. And other places we engage the agency, they carry out.
No, but the question is not clear.
Which is the better place, offshore or onshore?
Onshore.
Onshore.
Why?
Onshore because you get a lot of diversity in that. You will find a lot of comparisons. You will find a lot of fluctuations. And there you don't find there is all clean air.
And one more factor which I feel is because oil drilling is definitely onshore. Okay, so how the oil will transport to the onshore? So that will also create a
that is a closed circuit, completely closed circuit.
Yeah.
So that will not contribute any more additional.
Yes, nothing.
Okay, thank you.
Subsea pipeline basically.
Okay, close it.
I think all the good things also comes to the Mr. Chairman. Please.
Close it, it doesn't matter.
So, lunch is...
Now the session has come to a close. I thank all the speakers as well as the audience for taking an active part in the discussions. Thank you all.
Lunch is only restricted to half an hour. Yes. You have to hog fast.